Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another episode of this Piscean Reports. How you guys doing today? Hopefully you're having a fabulous afternoon as always. For those of you new to my channel, welcome aboard. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. All right, so I have been trying to hold on to this thought. I kept saying that it'll get to a point where I can be in a situation where I can give it to you guys in the most amazing way. I wanted to do the, what's that system where reaction. I wanted to make reaction videos. And I was gonna make this, I wanted this to be that, but you know what, the more I look, the more I watch, and it's getting harder and harder for me to say, you know what, you don't have time for that. You can't even afford that whole setup anyway. So just say what's in your heart, you know, say what that you feel needs to be said. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it as it is, okay? So, a lot of people, if you've been watching me in off camera, I've said the last few, at least a month, probably a little bit longer, honestly, but I have been saying that we are no longer the United States of America. We are now the United States of corporations. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, and I know you guys are as well. But you know, it's getting harder and harder to ignore. You know, these corporations, call them corporations, call them the matrix. I use it on a general term and say the matrix, because when you're in it, and as long as you are rocking and rolling with what the matrix wants you to do, it's all good. But when you step out of it and you have a chance to see that there's something happening behind the scenes, okay? America is being, I almost want to say it's being completely dismantled at this time. Like, it's scary. So anyway, call it the corporations, call it the matrix, call it the man. Back in the 70s, they used to say the man, call it the system. Whatever is in place right now is completely dismantling the United States as we know it, or as we knew it. Let's just say that. Because I grew up, you know, my mom was a baby boomer, and so I got to see what America used to be, what it used to represent, you know, and I'm watching it now, and it is absolutely nothing. A lot of people are expressing the general consensus, which we all are feeling at this time, is that we're being sold a bill of goods. Okay, we're being hoodwinked, we're being taken advantage of, we're being lied to on such a scale. Okay, but like I said, more and more you guys are finally seeing that this is no joke. Like, what's happening right now is scary, is scary, is scary. We are no longer we the people. Okay. So I wrote down a few things because I want to make sure I got this. You know, these corporations are infiltrating, literally infiltrating every sector of our society. Okay, they've gotten into our housing. You know, when I sit up at night and I listen to these people talking about how they make a damn good salary. I'm nothing compared to what these people are making. When you are making 6 figures and you still can't live, you can't afford to live, and all of these people are saying the same thing. It's not like they're spending their money frivolously or throwing it away on things like, and then I will say this, just like everybody else, you know, we as a society, we the people should be allowed to have money to where we can pay all our bills and take care of things and still live and exist and enjoy the freedoms of our country. And we're not even, there are people who can't even do that anymore, you know? The education system, I wrote this down as well. They have infiltrated the education system. The corporations have taken away the teachers' right, the ability to teach. Now it's like we've created this curriculum and we need you guys to follow it, okay? But it's not that easy, because unfortunately what we thought would benefit our children, thinking the sooner we get them used to using computers, because we're moving into the computer age, and we thought, the sooner we get our kids, using computers, the better. But that turned out to be the worst thing that we could have ever done, because we have taken away their ability to learn, okay? The computers, all they have to do is just, they can tap the microphone and say, show me this, or bring me that, or give me, you know what I mean? So they feel they don't need to learn how to read. They don't need to learn how to write. They can't, it's like they can't do the simplest things, and it's scary. It is really scary to hear that my grandchildren, my grandson is a part of this new thing. They're taking away the teacher's ability to just say, okay, let's learn how to read and write first. I feel personally, I feel like we need to take computers out of the classroom altogether, for at least until you get to junior high. So at least you know how to read and write and spell and the whole nine, It's scary, but they've taken the ability for the teachers and the principals to teach and to guide effectively. If the kids act up in school, the teachers can't discipline them. Gone are the days when you can say, go to the principal's office and the principal deals with you. If you messed up back in the day when I was growing up, it's bad. I will say this. And I'm sorry, I apologize that I kind of jump and I'm jumping, but I'm so surprised, I'm shocked to hear these teachers quitting in droves, because they've tied their hands. The corporations have literally tied their hands. And I believe it's because they want us to be ignorant. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to learn they want these corporations, the matrix, this system, call it whatever you want to call it, is taking away our ability to think for ourselves, to think, to read, to write, to form sentences. I'm sorry, because in my head I'm like, there's this and there's this and there's this, and I'm so sorry, you guys. But really, like it's scary. It's scary that they're taking away all these things. If the child acts up, when I was coming up, if you misbehaved, the teacher was the first front line. That was the first thing. If you messed up, I literally remember as a child, I don't know what I did. I did something wrong. And I would see other students, if you messed up and they called you to the front of the class and the teacher would tell you to hold your hand out, and she would get out a ruler and she would smack your hand in front of everybody. And you knew it hurt, because you would see them, and it happened for me too. And I remember it, but, and it hurt like hell. But I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Right? So, but I learned from that. And I learned from that point on, don't step out of line. The teacher had control of the classroom back in the day. That's been taken away from the teachers today. Their hands are tied. The kids can act up. They can talk about them. They can use them. They can abuse them. They can make up stories about the teachers, and they can't defend themselves, and they can't go to the principal, where the principal would step in and say, okay, you need to come out because you're disrupting the teacher's class. Like, it's insane. It's scary that and the corporations don't care. They don't care about these teachers. They don't care. They're punished. I heard a young lady say that she was teaching and her parents got sick, and she had to go and, take a brief minute away to go, get her parents set up in a situation. I guess they were very sick, and I don't know that they were necessarily at the end of a situation where hospice, but it was something she needed to go do. And when she came back, she was punished for stepping away from her classroom. She was punished, So it's insane. It's like the teachers, the principals, their hands are tied. So they can't do anything, okay? The medical industry, it's scary that the medical profession, the corporations have infiltrated that whole thing there. Okay, where I heard a doctor say first thing in the morning, doctors are told to go into meetings and they're told things like you're not doing enough surgeries, or you need to, like, they need to meet some kind of bizarre quota now. Okay, gone are the days where a doctor could just come into, go into a hospital and treat someone and guide them and tell them this is what you're going to need to do and this is this and that is that. They have, like, they're forcing them into this curriculum that they have to carry out. Okay, they can't just be doctors and help and heal. Okay, they're not trying to see these people get well. Okay, the same thing with the nurses. They're tying the nurses' hands. Okay, the nurses are all talking about how they're being abused. It's bad enough that when you're being abused by the patient, okay, and even the patient's family, and then being abused by the doctors and having no place to go, no one to help them, to, they too have to meet a curriculum. There's something that they have to do, a specific thing. They can't just be a nurse and focus on, taking care of the patients, which is why they signed up in the first place. Like, it's scary. The corporations have infiltrated that. Like, you can't effectively be a doctor. You can't effectively be a nurse. You can't effectively be a teacher. Okay? The pharmaceutical industry, everybody knows that the corporations are all over the pharmaceutical industry. Okay? The pharmaceutical industry is not interested in seeing you get well. Every day there's a commercial for something that comes out, and it's supposed to help you it'll help heal this one thing. And then comes that laundry list of things that can happen to you if you take this medication. It's like, yeah, we can cure your depression, but for some people it will increase thoughts of suicide, and it'll give you, and on top of everything else, you'll have, stomach issues or you guys get it. You've seen it a million times. They'll go roll out this laundry list of problems that you can have. The pharmaceutical industry is nothing more than a glorified drug dealer. Okay? Gone are the days when the pharmaceutical industry, when doctors tried to come up with cures to genuinely cure whatever ailed you, like genuinely. Okay, today they don't want that. That doesn't benefit their bottom line. That doesn't line their pockets. Okay, so let's just give them something that they can live with. I was listening to a song today by Sting. It's called "If I Ever Lose My Faith," and there's a line that says, never saw a miracle of science that didn't go from a blessing to a curse. And every time I hear that, the first thing that comes to mind, if you just use today's day and age, Ozempic, oh yeah, take this, you'll lose weight. But you see all these people out in Hollywood and they look like these sick zombies. It's scary. They look horrible. It went from a blessing to a curse. Perfect example. And he's absolutely right. I love this song. Okay? It's insane. It's insane. They're all over that. The corporations are all over that. It's about let's give these people just enough to make them just get by. And then the crazy part is, not only do they sell you this stuff, which is just like I said, it's just like a drug dealer. We're gonna get you hooked on this stuff. Okay, or it will cause this to happen. Oh, but that's okay. We'll just take this pill here, and that'll cure whatever is happening with that. I've seen a depression medication that causes people to, to make face movements. You guys have seen that commercial. And that's scary. And their response to that is, yeah, you cured your depression. Oh, is your face doing those things? Is your hands randomly doing things, or you're dropping things? That's okay. Take this medicine. We got you covered. Take this. It's scary. It's really, really scary what they're doing. They don't give a damn about helping us anymore. They don't give a damn about helping we, the people. Back in the day, the government enforced those kind of things. They had things in place. They had checks and balances in place where you could not do these things. But now, because the corporations have literally taken control of our politicians, was that the, yep, government. Good. I was going to go right into that. Okay. You know, the corporations have taken over our politicians, you know, giving them money, sliding the money under the table. And that in itself is scary. That is really scary. There's a, what is that? There's a group, and I forget it off the top of my head, that is supposed to make sure that I wish I could think of it, and I really should pause it right now and look it up. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. There's a corporation, and their job is the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. That's it. The FDA was supposed to be there to say, for we the people. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, was for we the people. And it's not anymore because the corporations got to them. Here, look the other way. We need to pass, we need the government to pass these. We need our politicians to pass these. You know, they'll come up with some, we have some terrific idea and we want to make it legal. And then the corporation will say, listen, you know, just slide this in with that bill for us, you know, making it okay to use a certain percentage of chemicals in our food, a certain level of chemicals or poisons. I want to say poisons because it ranges everything from, they said that there's things that they use in exercise mats that are in our food. And the Food and Drug Administration is doing nothing. They didn't say, that's insane. We're not doing that. You know, we don't have real hamburgers anymore. We don't have real meat anymore. You know, they just allow, these corporations are killing us. They're killing us. They don't give a damn about any of these things. Here, you know, look the other way. We need to do this. We need to do that. I was talking about, did I write it right here? It's further down. It's further down. But, or do I want to use that now? Let me see something. Hold on. Nope, I'll go ahead and use it now. I was thinking about, when I think about politics, the first thing that came to my mind was a show that Mr. Beast has, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. You know what, I'm just now finding out about how amazing Mr. Beast is. I went to look up a show and I found out that he had all these other shows and it blew my mind. But in this particular show that he has, there'll be like 100 people and they all get to live in this city. And they are pitted against one another and they have these challenges and a whole nine. But there was a gentleman. I was watching the last episode of Mr. Beast, not episode, but the series of this particular Beast City. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But there was a gentleman throughout this whole show who was, I fell in love. I fell in love because he had so much integrity, right? This one could not be swayed. You couldn't get this one to change for nothing, right? And I loved him. I loved him. Everybody put their faith in this one. And there was this one challenge, and everybody put their faith. They made him the captain because they knew all up through the show he was above reproach, right? And it came to the point where Mr. Beast pulls this gentleman to the side, and they say, and he said, listen, there's this giant pyramid of money, and he said you could take however much of this you want. It came down to 10 people, and all of them agreed at the beginning that we're all going to take the same amount so that it's fair for all of us. We all have kids, we all have the whole nine. And so Mr. Beast pulls this gentleman to the side and he says, it's just me and you. And he puts him in front of the pyramid of money. And he said, I'll give you, you could take however much you want of this and sell the others out. And I kept saying, no, don't do it, don't do it, right? And I'm begging him, At first I just knew he was above reproach and it would never happen. And he's telling him, nobody will know. It'll just be between you and me. And the more the gentleman thought about it, I could see him, I saw it. And I said, please don't do it, please don't do it, God, please. Ultimately, this gentleman sold out the others, and he took 200, it was $1 million, and everybody was supposed to get their fair share of that. And he took $250,000 of that money, and I about fainted. About fainting. The point of why I'm telling you this is how our politicians are. We are putting people in politics. We look at this person and we say, this one is who we want. This one is above reproach. This one has our best interests at heart. And we love them and we're putting them in office. And then the corporations come over to our politician and they said, listen, we want to do this and we need you to just look the other way. We'll give you X number of dollars if you'll just look the other way. And they do this with the corporations. They do this with the pharmaceutical industry. They're doing this with the FDA. It's an insane modern day version of Mr. Beast, and it's happening to our politicians. I'm sorry, not politics, but they're being used and they're being manipulated, and they turn I almost said turn the other cheek. They turning their heads away, and we're getting sold out. Americans are getting sold out in droves. This corporation, this entity, this matrix is just destroying our country. They know what they're doing. Okay, whoever this entity, these groups, these corporations are, they know what they're doing. And they're selling us out every single day. Except for now, more people are waking up and they're seeing it for what it is. America is not we the people anymore. It's we the corporation. Once upon a time, the middle class had the power. The middle class had the power. And so these corporations are saying, what's the word I'm looking for? I'll just say this. They're going to dismantle. They're going to dismantle the middle class. And I feel like we're watching it happen in our face right now. They're dismantling the middle class. You're either going to be very rich or you're going to be very poor. Okay? And if we dismantle the middle class, the rich now have all the power. And that's what they're doing. And it's really scary that this is happening. And it's blowing my mind. They're using AI now to take away our jobs, okay? We are losing jobs. Americans are losing jobs in the droves. I'm not in the droves. What's the word I'm looking for? You guys get what I'm saying. Like we're losing them. We're losing jobs every day. Every day. The restaurant industry is suffering. The airline industry is suffering. Everything. There are people who can't, it's scary when there are people who can't even drive their car because of this ridiculous war that our president has created. And I'm going to get into that too. I wanted to say that at the end. It's something that I feel needs to be said, and it's not gonna be pretty. But I will do the best I can to say it, but in the realest way possible. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. AI is taking away everything. You look at a commercial now. I would use that commercial for Friendly. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's an internet. It's an internet. It's like another one of those companies, like HBO Max, things like that. But it's called Friendly. It's one of those, channels. And in the commercial, I knew the minute I saw it. I didn't even see at the very bottom that this was AI, but I knew it because it was just too perfect. The farmer looked just too perfectly farmer, like the traditional idea of what a farmer looks like, with the hat on and the straw hat and the bib overalls, and then they have this child, and the woman said, instead of staying waiting online to be talked to about my internet, I just got, and then you see the child turns perfectly on cue and goes friendly, and I knew it. I said, this is AI. But what's scary is now actors, or well, I wouldn't say actors and actresses. I almost said actors and actresses, but I think you guys say just actors now. But it's scary. Like the actors are going to be out of a job, because why pay these people? Just do AI and we'll just use that. It's scary. Like, it's really scary. We're losing our jobs. We're losing our homes. We're losing their people who can't even drive their cars because of just this ridiculous war. It's so ridiculous. It's pointless. Why is this even happening? Everybody scratch their head like, why? We have no business. And what blows my mind is we as a people, we want to sit up and in America, try to tell other countries how they should behave and how they should act, instead of looking at ourselves. We're a mess right now, but that's a whole nother story. Let me not. Let me not. And I want to see this as well. The matrix, the corporations are pitting us against one another. I feel at this time we need to let go of the party lines for just a minute. Okay, right now we need each other. This isn't about, it's the Democrats' fault. It's the Republicans' fault. You know what? The corporations are pitting us against one another. They're using that. Let them fight amongst themselves while we go off and continue what we're doing, while we continue, and let them just fight amongst themselves. It's time to just drop the party bullshit. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't say that. You know what? I just realized I did this whole video and I didn't put the mic in. Hang on just a sec. I'm so sorry, you guys. I pray to the Father that you guys heard the most of this video. It's 27 minutes into it, and I'm praying. I'm going to play it back, and hopefully, it's good and we can keep going. But getting back to that, they're pitting us against one another. And now is not the time to be fighting. Well, it's you guys' fault. We're in trouble right now. We're in trouble. Okay, we, the people, are in big time trouble. And we need to stop fighting amongst ourselves right now. Okay, that's what they want. They want us to focus and point the finger at one another. And we need to come together and say, at this time, it don't matter. It don't matter. Because right now, we are in trouble. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of the rich are conservative. But they're getting it just as bad as we are, or the upper middle class. We'll say that, because there are people, like I said, who are making excellent pay. But then they're saying, yeah, we're making good pay, but they take so much from us. And by the time they do the numbers, they're barely making it, barely. We have got to put that to the side for a minute, and we've got to come together, because we're in trouble. We're in real trouble. Okay, like I said, and hopefully you were able to hear everything that I said before. Okay, that they are infiltrating our education system and the medical system and the pharmaceutical industry and just everything, using AI to take away our jobs. This is crazy. Okay, and like I said, they're pitting us against one another. Okay, they want and I put this down, the corporations want us to essentially be helpless. They don't give a damn that our kids don't know how to read. They prefer it that way. It's easier for them to take advantage. It will be so much easier for them to take advantage of our children and those coming up behind us. So easy. We could put whatever we want into these contracts. They won't know. They don't understand it. They can barely read. They'll be at the mercy of these corporations. Oh my God. And I want to say this, and I put down mention YouTube. They're taking away those gig jobs that we had. You know, I want to say this. When I first started my channel, I was so excited because I was telling you guys about, and I heard Spirit, saying this, that you can literally make all this money on YouTube, being you, showing who you are, showcasing your talents, your gifts, right? And I was so excited about that, and I was so encouraged, and I was like, and what's scary is, and I believe this with every fiber of my being, I think that the Matrix, these corporations understood that. They heard that. And they understand, that there are people, because there were quite literally people leaving these companies in droves. They said, I have this talent, and I have that talent, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I'm going to start my own channel. And so they it used to be so easy. Back in the day, you could just make videos, and everybody would hit the like button, and, companies would see you, and they would sponsor you, and you would make all this money, and it was just the greatest thing ever. It was so easy. And then the corporations saw that, and they said, you know what? We need people working for us. So they literally, and I believe it with every fiber of my being, they went to YouTube, and they was like, you need to change. Put these systems in place, make it harder for these people to make money, so hard that they just give up and they go right back to what they want us to do, which is working for them, not working for us, not showcasing who we are, not making money based off of our gifts and our talents. They want us working for them. So they made it damn near impossible. The numbers you have to have a successful channel, and the hoops that they want you to jump through. You have to have this many. You need to start posting this, and you need to start posting that, and we need you to do more of this, and you need to do more of that. And a lot of people don't have the time or the energy to do all of that. All they wanted to do was just be themselves and do their thing. But they made it damn near impossible. People have lost so much money. That creation of the OnlyFans, where people could just, do them. You guys y'all know a lot of young ladies decided to showcase, themselves. Why go out to Hollywood, and be subjected to the porn industry when they could just sit in their own house and do it and make their millions and do their thing and da-da-da. And then once again, the Matrix snatched that from them. The corporations took that from them. And now that's plummeted. Gone are those gig jobs. DoorDash and Lyft driving, Uber driving. Now you can't even do that. People used to say, well, that's fine. I'm not making as much money at my job, so let me just do this and pick up that extra money that's needed so we could keep going. The middle class, it was like, we'll just do this and we'll keep it going, and we'll keep our heads above water, and they took that away. These people are not playing around. These corporations are not playing. They are taking any tiny opportunity for us to keep our heads above water. We're in trouble. We are in big trouble. And this is why I said we've got to drop these party lines for just a minute and come together as a people. And we've got to put our heads together and figure out there's something that we've got to do. I contemplated, I said to myself, what could we do? And my first and immediate thought is we the people. We put these people in office, and clearly they've been, what's the word I'm looking for? They have been tainted. They've been used. Mr. Beast got to them. Okay. and we are suffering for it. We're being punished, as a result of their turning their heads and looking the other way and allowing these companies to do what they do, to poison our food and to keep us uneducated and to take away the jobs and the whole nine. And I said, well, what can we do? And I said, well, literally, I feel like short of just saying everybody who's in office gotta go right now. Right now. Next time there's time to vote, whoever's in office, you gotta go. And you can't say, well, this one didn't do it and that one didn't do it. You don't know what they did. So if we just start over and just say, all you guys go out and put all new people in. But what I find scary is the concept of Mr. Beast showing up again and saying, listen, and doing the same thing to them. And that you would want to hope and pray that the people you put in next would be completely above reproach. But I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. All I know is we have got to drop the party lines just for a minute and come together as a people and say, we got to do something because we are drowning. We're dying. Like I said, they're taking away the middle class. The middle class had all the power, so dismantle the middle class. These people are not playing around. I'm debating on whether I want to just say this last thing. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. But at the same time, I said this in private. I talked about the president that we have right now, how he got into office. This man got into office using hate, bigotry, to get in. And I say that, the reason I say that, because you're like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, in the race, one of the things this president-elect at the time, this person who was trying to become president, one of the things he kept selling Americans on was, I'm going to build this wall and I'm going to keep those Mexicans out. We're going to keep those people out. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen, if you glance past the news or if I glance past, CNN or something, and because I'm kind of keeping one eye on it and then doing my thing at the same time. And all he would ever talk about how he was going to build this beautiful wall. I'm going to build this beautiful wall. It's going to be the best wall ever. And everybody was like, woo, yeah, let's get this. Let's do that. Let's get those, send them back and the whole nine. And he ran on that. And he won on that. As ugly as it is to say, he won on that. He used people's prejudice against them. Because here we are, we're in office. When's the last time you heard this man talk about this great wall? Has he started on it? Is it really the biggest problem in America? Was that wall that important? Was that the biggest problem? Knowing all how we got these corporations. And what's scary is the corporations, the matrix, they used that. They knew this man could be used. He's pliable. He can be manipulated. And unfortunately, that's what got him in. But that's what they wanted. That is what they wanted. And this one is so easy. They wanted him because he can be used. All they have to do is just go to him and tell him, say this, only do this, only do that. This isn't a man who thinks for himself. He lets the corporation tell him what to do, and he does it. He acts accordingly. And it's unfortunate. This is what I'm talking about. They use us. They used him, and they got him to use us. As well, not us, because I didn't vote. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. We were used. Though there were people who were used. Okay, and they ran on that platform of we're going to get these people out, and we're going to build this wall, and we're going to make America great. America isn't great right now. America is right now. We are screwed right now. They're dismantling the matrix. I mean, the middle class. They're taking away everything. They're poisoning our food. They're selling us drugs that ultimately will destroy us. And they're destroying this country in every conceivable way. We, the people, have no power anymore. It feels like. They want you to think you have power. Oh, you've got all the power in the world. You can do and you can vote. And no, because at the end of the day, they'll just go to whoever we put in and they'll just manipulate them and pay them enough money. Like Mr. Beast, I'll give you enough money if you just look the other way. And they always cave. We are in big trouble. Big trouble. These corporations are not effing around. Okay? And we need to look at that. We're in trouble. And I think the best way, or one of the best ways, is if we just drop the party lines for a minute and just come together as we, the people. And so we got to figure something out, because this thing is happening on both sides. It's happening. Those who are upper middle class are struggling and drowning, and those who are poor are drowning, and it's a mess. It's scary. It's really scary. And I think we got to come together and figure something out. This is one time where we're just going to have to put everything aside, put your prejudices to the side, put everything to the side and say, how are we going to fix this? We're in trouble. Okay? Because back in the day, all Americans had to do was speak up and voice their concerns, and the government would step in and make the changes that need to be made. They're not doing a damn thing. Have you heard these companies? Have you heard the government saying they're going to do anything to help you guys? Are they saying we're going to put a freeze? Is the president coming online and saying that we're going to put a cap on this rental situation? It's out of control. It's too much. No. Is he saying we're going to put a freeze on the automotive industry and say, listen, this is too much. We're capping the prices of the cars at this much. And, the economy is struggling right now. So we've got to put a cap. We're enacting a cap on the price of all our cars. And we're enacting a cap on the price of houses. And we're enacting a cap until the economy gets better and we get everybody back on track and on the right footing. That we need to put a freeze on it. Nope, not doing a damn thing. Letting it happen. Let it happen. Because they don't care. They stopped caring about Americans. They're only interested in their bottom line. And we're suffering. We're being ones to pay for it. I don't know. I'm telling you, I saw my mother, my baby boomer mother, I saw her retire early. That's the crazy part. She retired early. Back then, I think the minimum retirement age was 55, and I think she retired at 50 early. And was able to keep her house and buy food and go do something if she wanted to do it and relax. And she was able to pay her bills. And she never had to worry about, anything getting out of control. She lived the American dream. It's been taken away from us. We the people, it's gone. It's taken away. What scares me, I was talking to a young lady the other day, and I was telling her that what really scares me, and I almost wanted to apologize, the jobs that a lot of the seniors have. I'm 62 and I shouldn't be working. A lot of seniors should not be working right now. Think about all the seniors that are working. Those jobs technically should be handed over to this other generation. But we don't have a choice. We've got to hold on to what we have right now. And as a result, they're not getting the jobs that should rightfully go to them. This next generation coming up. It's scary. It's really scary. I almost want to say I'm so sorry, you guys, but our hands are tied. We can't retire. I don't think and what's scary is I don't think you guys will ever retire. I feel like you guys are going to be working till you die. And we're damn near there ourselves. A lot of us really are there. It's it. It is. We're going to be working till we die. But I'm sorry, on behalf of all of the Gen Xers. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm the last of baby boomers. I was 64 and Gen X starts 65. But you get it. It's right there. Those in the 60s range, we're sorry. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Our hands are tied. Man, it's scary. We got to do something, though. We got to put our heads together. We got to come together as a people. We've got to put all party lines. We got to let that go and say, how can we fix this? What can we do? Do we start complaining enough? Do we start speaking up enough? Do we start, I don't know, protesting or something to let the government know we mean business? We're serious. This is terrible. We can't do this. I don't know. But we got to come together as a people and figure it out. That's the message that I had for you guys. Now is not the time to think party lines. We've got to come together. This is bad. It's never been this bad. And hopefully we can do that. We can just drop the rhetoric. Like I said, the matrix, the corporations, whatever you want to call them, are pitting us against one another and continuing on with business as usual instead of, and we've got to stop fighting with each other and say we got to come together and figure this thing out. That's my thought on it. That's my 2 cents on it. I'm going to leave the video right there. I just want to leave you guys something to think about. Like, this is scary. It's really scary what's happening. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go. I hope you liked the video. I know this is one of those videos where I don't even want to say hit that like button, because you do what you want to do. This is not that. This video was not that, listen, you guys, this is just my thoughts on it, and we're in big trouble, and we need to, they're using us. They're using us. They're pitting us against one another. They don't give a damn about us. They don't. And we got to figure something out. We got to save ourselves, because I don't see anybody coming to save us. We got to figure it out. And hopefully, and keep your thoughts and your mind focused on the Most High. Keep praying. Keep praying. I know prayer isn't going to be enough. I know that. But certainly, it's a difficult time right now, and it helps to turn to the Father, and your guides and your angels, and say, please help me get through this. Help me. Show me the way. Show us the way. Okay, I'm going to go. I will see you guys next time on the next video. You guys have a great rest of your day. See you later. Bye.